Welcome to the fasting podcast, Wow, Wellness and Optimal Weight. I'm your host, Julie Phillips, certified natural health professional, wellness educator, and coach for 2 decades after a life-threatening scare. This is episode 55, Bowel Movements and Fasting. This is a very important topic about bowel movements, and my life-threatening scare 20 years ago was actually linked to an unawareness about bowel movements and the importance of them and the frequency. And if I had known what I'm going to be talking about in this episode, I would not have had this scare. So let's talk about the fasting perspective. When we're doing intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating, they might actually help with bowel movements because we have more time. If, for example, we're keeping our caloric intake to about an 8-hour window, we have 16 additional hours to drink a lot more water, empty the intestines, give the digestive and intestinal system a break, and reduce the load throughout the day. So this approach can really help with the bowel movement perspective. And it's so important to eliminate waste in the body and have proper hydration to help get it out of there. When we're doing a prolonged or extended fast with the multiple days, often there's serious detoxing going on, and major recovery is part of the goal. So the elimination pathways must be open and ready for that. So it's really important, if you're not getting good bowel movements now, it might be a good idea to work on getting good bowel movements before you go into any kind of serious fasting, like an extended fast. In any type of fasting at all, if the waste isn't being eliminated, you could actually be gaining weight or hanging on to weight instead of losing as the toxins build up. If the scale is not making you happy, it could be related to the waste buildup in the body. Sometimes if you're doing a health program and you have brand new trouble going to the bathroom, it can be a sign of dehydration, of course, but also parasites or other blockages. I worked with a health professional that did a lot of work with animals, and he said that when things got really bad for some of the cows, he actually had to use his hand to help alleviate the blockage. So it can be a blessing in disguise if you end up with a blockage and you deal with getting rid of whatever the problem was. You may have started a program to experiencing fasting, but a hidden problem could surface that's far more important than you realized. Whether you're fasting or not, and this podcast is about wellness and optimal weight, not just fasting, so super important topic for everyone. If you've ever dealt with a little healthy baby, it seems like all they do is eat and have a bowel movement, eat and have a bowel movement, eat and have a bowel movement with sleep all around the rest of the time. And some people say, how could such a big bowel movement come out of that little tiny baby? Well, I taught with a colon hydrotherapist one time who cleans out people's built up colon fecal matter. And she said, well, Julie's not too much taller than 5 feet, which means her colon's about 5 feet. And if shaped like an upside down U, so that the ascending colon going up, the transcending colon going across, and the descending colon coming down, I'm hoping that if Julie's eating 3 meals a day, she'll empty what's in the descending colon, and then by the time she gets to her next meal, maybe the transverse will move down, the ascending will move to the transverse, and the new meal might go up. So I'm hoping Julie gets 3 long, brown, smooth bowel movements with her 3 meals a day. Well, she said, based on the length of my colon, they divide that by 3. If my colon was really clean and I had enough fiber and proper eating to do the job beautifully, I'd be getting monstrous, long, brown, smooth bowel movements well over a foot long. So you can do the math. And she said, hold your thumb and index finger together, touch them like a circle. That's how big or round they should be. They should not have any smell. If the digestion, assimilation, and all went well, there should be no straining, no little hard balls, no skinny little tubes, no diarrhea, and no visible objects or critters like worms or anything like that in the toilet. But it's really good to turn around and look at the toilet because that's a good indication of what's happening inside of you. excellent hydration is so vital to moving the bowels. And we just did an episode on hydration on a tight budget, and we did more in-depth episodes, early episode 3 through 6. Half your body weight in ounces of pure water per day. So 180-pound person, maybe 90 ounces of water, mostly away from the meals. And I would definitely avoid those little small 17-ounce plastic bottled water and other liquids, and even the gallon size. Probiotics are super important. Probiotics are friendly flora. We have bad bacteria and we have good bacteria, and the idea is to keep the probiotics, or the good bacteria, as the dominant species that keeps the bad guys under control. And you can learn more about probiotics that are super important on episode 35. But so many things kill your friendly flora, not just antibiotics, lots of medications, too much stress, too much salt, too much sugar, that it's really valuable to supplement with probiotics if you're not getting it in these special type foods. Enzymes are a big plus. Enzymes can help get the bowels moving and break things down, help the body with its digestive and assimilation process. And if you haven't already heard episode 27, it was all about enzymes. And I have never in my career seen any combination for digestive and gut health better than our WOW Digestive Gut Blend, because it has enzymes and probiotics and support for the blood sugar and the minerals and the herbs for the gut, and something they call leaky gut perhaps. Certain herbals, you might want to check out episode 46, phenomenal for helping with the bowels as well as digestion and pH balancing. That's that WOW K Plus Super Tonic. But it's a technology with a lot of herbs that can assist the body in moving the process through. And that same company actually has the very best, by far, highest quality aloe for bowel movements in the gut, digestion and assimilation. The oxygenating magnesium is something not many people know about. You can actually get a good one on Amazon. It's called Mago 7 is the one I like, but it slowly cleans the sludge off the intestinal wall, oxygenating and alkalinizing the dirty intestinal tract. And while you're doing that, if you also take some fiber, like soluble and insoluble fiber, you can get that again at a health food store, online, on Amazon, wherever, helps to bulk the stool and soak up those toxins that are being released, for example, by the oxygenating magnesium. Beautiful technique to clean up old, built up, almost feels like hard as a rock to some of the colon hydrotherapists, I'm guessing, when it's built up for many, many years. Get that out of the body. If you do fiber supplementally, because you can get fiber with your diet as well. For example, organic avocados are actually high in fiber and the good fat. Great food. And it tastes great to most people. If you're going to do fiber supplements, and a lot of people are allergic to the psyllium hull type thing, by the way, you want to build up slowly on fiber, and you want to get plenty of water. Otherwise, you can stop yourself up like putting a plug in the bathtub. Now we're going to talk about a few options that you may never have thought of before. Humans were designed to use a squatting position, squatting on the ground. So 20 years ago, when I was introduced to a little stool, 7 inches tall for my height, maybe a little taller for other people, it actually, by getting my knees way up in the air, by my feet being on this stool in front of the toilet, I was shocked at how easily the bowel movement came out. I didn't even feel like I had to go, but it, boom, came out really long. I was amazed. And if you're away from home, you can try sort of simulating that by maybe putting your hand on your abdomen and leaning way over to simulate the squatting position. So I've tried that, and that definitely helps. Not as good as the stool. On Amazon, by the way, they have a little name called Squatty Putty, and it works for so many people that give it rave reviews. A key thing is that there are colon hydrotherapists, and they do colon hydrotherapy or colonics, and they're massage therapists that are trained to use warm water and get that fecal matter out of you they have a tube, and if you're willing to look, you can see, oh my gosh, there's chewing gum. I haven't chewed gum for 30 years. And they can even see parasites and different worms and things like that as they're looking through the tube. They can tell whether you're chewing your food well by looking in there, but they can get stuff out. And typically it takes 3 visits at least for most of the colon hydrotherapists, but sometimes a situation might take 12 sessions or even more. There's a topic called, is this an open system or a closed system? The closed system requires that the hydrotherapist expert must be in the room with you at all times. So the person I was trained with so many years ago was really a proponent of the closed system, but the open system people really like their approach. If you don't know who to go to, check with your local health food store owner and say, who do you recommend? And do you know if they have an open or a closed system, and why is that good? Also, you can consider coffee enemas if you need to, especially if you're doing a serious program and you really feel like you're blocked up. Coffee enemas don't use regular coffee. Even on Amazon, they have special coffee for that. You may consider regular warm water enemas. So that is totally up to you. And they have ones you can buy at the store, or just get one of those little rubber bags. For good health, overall, fasting or not, and for good fasting results, keep the river flowing. Lots of water, great digestion, assimilation, elimination. And if you're eating 2 or 3 meals a day, I hope you're getting 2 to 3 large, long, brown, smooth, beautiful bowel movements every single day. If you're eating less often, of course, you may not be as often. And if you're doing an extended fast, you may go periods of time, if you're going days without eating any solid food, where you don't see any bowel movement in there. But if you use that little trick with the oxygenating magnesium combined with fiber, you might do a pretty long fast, a lot of days, and still continue to see bowel movements, although not firmly formed. It's nice to know that you absolutely are cleaning sludge off the intestinal wall. Possible next steps: watch the related episodes that we have mentioned, refer others, please, and check out our website that includes the slide for every episode, www.jpwowprograms.com. If you would like to send questions or feedback, send them to me, Julie, at jpwowprograms.com. And if you're on iTunes, we hope you give us a good 5-star review if you really like it. And we hope that you subscribe, whether you're watching on a podcast or on YouTube. Remember, stay positive, focused, and determined, because where the mind goes, absolutely, energy flows. Have a great day.